end anyway. We started requiring your tax number, tax ID.
Mm-hmm.
So every person there had to have a tax ID, and it had to be on display according to them. And they were kind of on their own. I wasn't the one just, doing that. But they did come through and check. They took names, and they sent out notices to everybody that was there.
How long did it take them to do that? Months, a year, till they notice?
Year and a half. I don't really remember. A while.
Yeah, a while. Just curious.
And then I was surprised, I hadn't thought about it, but I was surprised how many of those people already had that. And I guess they're doing it other places that require it all the time. Like if you're Will Rogers doing it, you're gonna have that, or you're not gonna have a booth. So
I don't know. You got the one by the traffic circle, but that's a real. Then you got the one at Belknap. Can I get an escort to get me in and out?
Yeah.
The question is, would we want something like the cattle barn?
That kind of splits the difference.
Personally, I wouldn't, but.
That's where I fall out.
Well, okay, I'll tell you another way I would look at that would be the square footage we just talked about. I don't have a problem with a little small store, but when it becomes.
The Mega Mart.
Yeah.
Yeah, what this.
It can only be so bad if it's this big. On an initial thought, I don't know.
That was the question to me as to what, if that was allowed, what is allowed, what is not allowed. When I had Marvin, and he was saying it's got to be an antique because everything, I think, over 30 years old. That's,
Yeah, I don't need it.
there's stuff, obviously I know some of that stuff is over 30 years old, but I wouldn't know the majority of it when it's 30 years old.
Well, and I think that's the same thing, is if you have an antique store that's selling new stuff, nobody's gonna have a problem if it's ran like an antique store. If it starts having, racks of clothing out on the front porch or garage sale items, then that's when complaints would come in that would cause that to be an issue, I guess.
Well, the guy that was down there, as far as I know, we didn't have any problem with it, but he wasn't there very long either. If it's something would go over here or not, when you've got a big one down the street here.
Right.
That they can go to.
But somebody's asking right now on social media, somebody's asking whether they should open one up.
Yeah.
So somebody's contemplating that, and I have no idea whether it would be the greatest thing to hit River Oaks or the worst.
Well, I did that, that one, and I was approached by a lady, because she knew who I was, but I didn't know her, and that was her question, is, can I open one up in River Oaks? And I said, I don't think you can. And she said, well, what about that one they had down at the shopping center? What's the difference in that?
Which was even called antique.
Like when I had called Marvin and asked him, what is the difference? And
See, I'd see no problem at all with somebody having a collectible store where they're selling baseball cards and autographed footballs, baseballs.
we had one
It's
that's,
kind of like the whole art issue. It's a matter of opinion. One man's trash, another man's
what's
treasure.
his name, that had the store there at Merritt and at the Boulevard for years.
The dollar store?
That was across the street from the Dollar General there. Back in the 90s, I know when Doug was there, he and Doug were good friends.
It wasn't there that long.
The double griddle building, I think is what it is, and he was, can't think of that guy's name, I see his face, he had a bunch of old coins and, toys and all kinds of stuff in there.
I guess for me, the biggest thing is what it looks like driving down the street. If it looks bad inside, I don't have to go in. But I don't know how you.
I don't know how we get into regulating what it was exactly.
Like antique?
Yeah.
They came in and said they were an antique dealer.
Oh, okay, they came in, okay.
That's how we did it.
And all these different zonings, when you go apply for that, it'll say what's allowed in this zoning district.
Retail sales is allowed, but it has to be new merchandise right now. The only thing we're saying here is if they're allowed up to 15% of that area, they could be secondhand, but not be the whole business.
You're You're saying of a given business.
Okay, but
They could have 15%.
Well, now you're clearing up my question, that is somebody selling doing,
You say, I don't have too big a problem with that either.
I think we should leave it the same.
Well, it's a big thing, like Plato's Closet, my daughter, and, you know, they would go to that, used clothing stores where it's like,
It's high-end stuff. I know
yeah,
what
it's
you're
good
talking
clothes, but I mean, it's used clothes, but that'd be one of the stops that they make on schools to shop at times.
Yeah, you're right, and I've been in that place, and it's ran just like any other department store. It's very nice looking, and
Decent clothes.
So do y'all wanna even touch that? You wanna put 15% in, only because it matches accessory building, accessory use, or you just wanna leave it out? And we'll keep enforcing it as, no, you can't.
I don't have a problem with adding 15%. I don't have a problem leaving it the way it is either.
Right now, it's 15%.
That, there is a provision under the accessory uses that it can be if it promotes the business.
So to me, they should be, whatever those should be compatible.
Yeah,
Other than that,
right now, they're not.
right, so I think doing
That's
that
the vision that we
bad.
want the city to go toward. That's just what I'm.
No, I don't want the cattle barn out here.
Right, no,
Plato's Closet is nice, the cattle barn not.
how do you,
And there's places.
well, that's where we have to get to that. I don't, high-end retail only.
Well, that may be one of it. If you're saying 15%, that means that type of merchandise is only gonna be in one little corner, or spread out throughout the store.
So I'd be
I don't know that
fine.
anybody would want that, really, so.
Right, I mean, that might be, that business might not exist, so, I mean, that's.
I would think it would exist now. I would imagine most retail businesses don't know they can't have 15%. If they came across something that they, like using the baseball card example, I don't think anybody would complain and nobody would even know if they're selling baseball cards in the corner of a store that sells other things, you know. Is it a problem, I guess, is the current thing a problem? I was guessing move on.
Renters.
I only brought it up because I was asked about it,
No,
and I didn't have a good answer.
All right. I don't know that we're losing tax dollars by having it, so, I mean, by what we have.
So let's leave that one how it is
Okay.
for now.
Except line them up, didn't you wanna line them, Joe, didn't you wanna make both of them line up?
Well, that's what Marvin had mentioned, so I mean, it would make sense for that and the accessory to match, so then, yeah, okay. Other than that, so, okay, we'll move on.
Unless you don't have anything else, those are my big ones that I need to.
We're running out of time, so what's a biggie you
I
wanna
would
get?
still, and I would like to get staff out of here no later than 12 on the dot, because that's what we've done.
I really don't care about them, but I'm leaving at 12.
I'd like to get staff and Darren out of here.
Thank you.
We're training too, so I'm.
So we got 32 minutes, so yeah.
The police chief's here, you wanna hit the animal shelter?
Marvin, what's the next?
Well, one other thing, what we're doing is, what Santa Claus is gonna sell. It's CF zoning right now. It's right in the midst of R4. It made more sense just to rezone that all R4. That's what we'd like to.
And what's R4?
R4 is a single family.
Why would we wanna do that until there's a buyer there?
Wait till there's a buyer.
Well, I mean, the only reason I'm saying that, I don't care, and that's probably what would happen, but if you have a tax-paying retail business that wants to come in there and put.
I just think it's right
More
there.
community facility type.
Right, so right now, the way it's zoned as a CF, a tax-paying business couldn't go in there regardless. So we almost, to make it possible, if they want to sell it with a entitlement to zoning, we have to decide on the front end what the zoning is. Now, what I would, to me, it makes, I get where you're coming from, but that's so far back into a neighborhood, I think that having that be R4, since that's what's, everything around it's R4.
Everything is.
I think residential makes sense for right there.
There'll be 4 lots right there to do that can be built.
But that would still need to go before P and Z for a review.
Oh,
and
yeah,
zoning change.
yeah, but I mean, if to move forward with it is what I would.
But Marvin, it's got a, quarter acre, would be 4 lots,
Yeah,
is that what you're saying?
yeah, you could get 4 lots.
And there was an
It's a
investor
little
that
over
said
four,
yesterday wanted to purchase it.
4 houses?
As residential?
Yeah.
And residential.
tear it down, what if they wanted